Okay, we're back. Shawn Fury with Shawn Fury's Hero Training School. Going to continue off from the last video where I was talking about facilitating dignity via self-interest and humanity. So I just mentioned that before I shut that last video off, that humanity means a genuine concern for the welfare of others. So what happens if you care too much about the welfare of others, right? Then you fall into this excess or this vice. It's not a pro-social behavior. It's not good for everybody. And the reason is because it's not good for you. Because you end up getting too wrapped up in other people. And I call that other-centeredness, right? Most people will talk about it in terms of codependency at the pathological level or the real extreme social illness. You know, it's like a social health disorder, although I don't think that's a real term. But it's kind of one of those fields that needs to be sort of invented, I think, is social health, because that's kind of what I'm all about. People focus on mental health, but they don't really talk about it enough in terms of psychosocial health. If you think of psychosocial, meaning your mind and your social connection or relationships. So the psycho part refers to mind, and the social part refers to your social behavior and to the behavior of others and how it's impacting you, right, and how you're impacting others. So if you want to have psychosocial well-being, or if you want to have psychological well-being, mind and emotions, right, then you want to have psychosocial well-being, mind and social behavior, because that's where your psychological well-being is coming from your psychosocial interactions, your experiences in the social world, right? Human beings are social creatures, said many famous, people, including Aristotle, and who's a big fan of virtues, as you might know if you've heard of him. So most people think that the opposite of a virtue is a vice, so like patience versus impatience. But really, it'd be better to think of it in terms of the opposite of a virtue is another virtue, right? Because you need to have enough self-interest and you need to have enough humanity. And when you have just the right balance of humanity and self-interest, it's going to facilitate dignity, which you can experience as a quality of value, right? We both matter. And if you're out of balance, you'll be able to tell. It's not going to feel good, right? So let's go to another one real quick. If somebody behaves in a way that threatens to destroy the social norm that you have created in the environment of treating people in a balanced manner, right? People are feeling dignified, they feel equally valued, and you notice that they're being treated with dignity, and that's really great. And then all of a sudden, there comes a new employee to work, let's say, and he starts treating people with a lack of dignity or a lack of regard. And people start getting upset and start acting out, and things start getting out of whack in your environment. So how can you respond to this person when they approach you in a dysfunctional manner in a way that doesn't lead to the goal of psychosocial well-being? Well, you can respond with thoughtfulness and self-respect. And why is that? Because first of all, you're going to try to not be reactive. You don't want to be jumping down their throat and being like, listen up, let's go, yeah, because then you become the villain, right? And people are going to provoke you a lot. You know, that's the bad news about trying to learn how to be heroic and live your best life, is that a lot of people don't like that. And the good news is that if you can succeed and stay heroic, then pretty soon more and more of the world will become heroic, and you can help lift up the quality of life for human beings everywhere, right? And then people will like heroes. I know I like heroes. If you ever think about it, who was the person that said, don't be a hero? It's always a villain that says that, right? So you got to wonder why there's this weird stigma around, making good choices and being an empowered agent of change in your own life and managing your environment for health and functioning, right? That doesn't make sense that people wouldn't feel happy about that. But I know I feel happy about it, and especially if you're still watching these videos, because it can be challenging, but it's great to get involved in. So you're going to engage with thoughtfulness and self-respect. You're going to care what other people are going through. You're going to think about them and what's causing them to act like this, but you're not going to let them walk on you, right? Because you don't want to engage in self-annihilation by being too thoughtful, and you don't want to engage in pride by having too much self-respect. And I'll finish up on that in a minute, so we're out of time.